The manila envelope sits on my childhood kitchen table like a coiled snake, its corporate letterhead gleaming under fluorescent light that makes everyone look corpse gray. Mom arranges papers with meticulous precision. The same invasion disguised as care she used folding my underwear. The caregiver financial responsibility agreement header swims before my exhausted eyes. Rachel, honey, we just need you to sign here. Her voice carries that artificial customer service brightness I've learned to fear. The ballpoint pen clicks nervously in her manicured fingers. I sink into the vinyl chair that's been mine since high school, its cold surface beneath sweating palms triggering cascades of unwanted memories. Every family discussion has happened in this exact spot. The wooden table bears faint coffee ring stains, evidence of decades of careful manipulation. Sign what, exactly? 3 12-hour shifts this week at Seattle General, my paramedic uniform still carrying antiseptic smell of other people's crises. Dad adjusts expensive reading glasses, frames I helped afford with my signing bonus. Emily needs specialized therapy. Insurance only covers basics, but hydrotherapy could help her regain function. The memory surfaces with crystalline clarity. 15-year-old Emily laughing as she climbed onto Tyler's ATV despite my protests. Metal crushing bone. The helicopter ride where I held her unconscious bleeding hand. 10 years later, they still blame me for not stopping her. How much? The way Mom's shoulders tense, Dad won't meet my eyes. Classic tells from trauma patients hiding truth. $45,000 for equipment and setup. Your company stock options. Linda slides highlighted invoices across sticky table. This is family. My stomach drops. $45,000. My entire safety net built through double shifts and skipped vacations. And then, $1,500 monthly ongoing. Dad's voice carries authority from explaining why I couldn't have art camp, study abroad, anything not serving family narrative. Reasonable considering private care costs. The fluorescent bulb flickers. I notice Mom's lipstick smudged, Dad's tie loosened just enough to suggest stress, but not enough to back down. What if I can't afford it? Practiced pause, they've rehearsed this. Emily is paralyzed because you were supposed to watch her. Mom's dangerous whisper used to send us scrambling to clean rooms. Too busy feeding stray cats instead of walking her to the bus stop. Familiar weight settles on my chest, 30 pounds of accumulated guilt making it hard to breathe. But emergency medicine taught me spotting lies, recognizing when patient stories don't match injuries. I was 12. The accident happened at Crescent Lake, 15 miles from any bus stop. Dad's confident smile falters microseconds, barely noticeable unless trained to catch micro-expressions of people hiding something. Distance doesn't matter, responsibility does. Church board members wonder why Emily's successful sister hasn't helped more. The threat lands like physical blow. Hospital administration reviews community complaints during evaluations. And if I don't sign? Emily suffers, and everyone knows why. Linda's practice tears, same theatrical display from every parent-teacher conference. Kitchen walls close in, decorated with photos telling their version. Rachel the responsible daughter. Emily the tragic victim. Parents sacrificing everything. I sign in shaky letters, watching financial independence disappear. But my paramedic training catalogs inconsistencies. Filing details that don't match their trauma pattern. 2 days later, I'm sitting in Claire's law office on downtown Seattle's 15th floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows offering Elliott Bay panorama. Still wearing overnight shift scrubs in leather that costs more than monthly rent. Let me understand. Claire sets down her Northwestern University mug from our dorm days. Your parents want your entire savings plus $18,000 annually based on guilt over an accident when you were 12. Stripping away emotional manipulation reduces it to clinical components. I nod. Have you seen the police report? The question hits like ice water. Police report? Every ATV injury gets documented. Especially helicopter calls. Witness statements, scene analysis, complete reconstruction. Fingers fly across keyboard. Exact date? June 15, 2013, Saturday afternoon. Details seared in memory, stranger's phone call. Frantic hospital drive, surgeon's solemn spinal cord explanation. Claire's expression shifts from curiosity to sharp concern to barely contained anger. This happened on Crescent Lake trails, Emily riding double with Tyler Chandler, 35 mph in no motorized vehicle zones, no safety equipment. Officer noted muddy conditions creating hazardous traction. Each detail snaps puzzle pieces into place, forming pictures completely different from family narrative. Tyler's statement says they were riding around having fun when they hit mud, went off trail into Douglas firs, medical helicopter called by witness hiker. The implications spin beneath me. 15 miles from where I was supposed to walk Emily to buses. If they thought I was responsible, wouldn't police interview me? Claire Prince reports, mechanical humming filling silence, pages feel heavier than paper should. Emily was on a secret date with a 17-year-old, violating park regulations, without safety gear, in dangerous conditions. Your location is completely irrelevant. I stare at official seals, Tyler's signature, helicopter timestamps proving Emily was airlifted while I fed cats 12 miles away. The crushing certainty that Emily's paralysis was my fault begins shifting, revealing something darker underneath. Why would they lie? Claire leans back with prosecutor precision. That's what we find out. But first, you are not responsible. You never were. Any obligations based on false premise are potentially fraudulent. For the first time in a decade, I feel the absence of guilt, like discovering deeper breathing capacity. The coffee shop near Tyler's school holds lesson plans and laptops at every table when we meet 3 days later. Tyler Chandler teaches high school athletics in Tacoma, his LinkedIn featuring teenage athletes. Coach Tyler Chandler keychain, Northwestern State Physical Education. I wondered when someone would finally ask. His coffee sits untouched, nervous energy of someone expecting this conversation. Recognition hits viscerally, the boy Emily talked about constantly, sneaking phone calls after parents' bedtime, the one whose existence they denied. My parents said Emily was alone. Tyler's laugh is bitter. Your dad called me 2 days after, said if I told anyone Emily was with me, he'd charge me with assault, reckless endangerment, maybe attempted murder. I was 17, terrified, parents just divorced, mom barely keeping our apartment, and this adult threatens prison. Each word hits like physical blows. What exactly did he say? That Emily was minor, I was legally adult, that taking her on dangerous equipment without permission made me criminally responsible. Said he had witnesses who saw me coercing her, could prove grooming. I agreed to silence. Coffee shop noise fades processing this. My father, church deacon, community leader, Sunday school teacher, intimidated a teenage boy through legal threats. You were both minors dating, right? I turned 18 3 months before, Emily 15. We'd hung out since she was 14, I was 16, but once legally adult they could frame it however they wanted. Tyler runs hands through hair. They didn't need proof, just threats loud enough for compliance. My phone buzzes. Dad says you signed the papers, thank you for helping me get better. Emily's text that would have felt like validation now reads like evidence of ongoing deception. Does Emily know you stayed silent? She texted 6 months later, asked if I was okay, if parents still threatened lawsuits. When I told her about your dad's visit, she wasn't surprised. Said he warned that talking about that boy would make recovery harder. Pattern crystallizes, isolation, control, narrative management. Keep Tyler silent through legal intimidation. Keep Emily focused on recovery, not truth. Keep me carrying guilt, ensuring compliance and financial support. I've wanted to reach out for years, seeing newspaper articles about Emily's strength, her courage, family supporting her, knowing the real story felt wrong, letting you take credit for handling something I caused. You didn't cause anything, kids being kids, it was an accident. Claire interjects with legal precision. Tyler, would you provide sworn statement about what happened and subsequent threats? Brief pause then. I teach teenagers now. Some make same stupid decisions Emily and I made, dating people parents disapprove of, taking risks. I've spent 10 years wishing I'd been brave enough for truth when it mattered. Direct eye contact first time since sitting down. Yes, I'll make a statement. Time someone knows what really happened. That same afternoon, Benson Walters agrees to meet immediately when Claire calls about potential financial improprieties involving Emily's fundraising. His apartment reflects organized chaos of someone living in documents, filing cabinets, whiteboards connecting names and dollars with red string, coffee table stacks that could topple governments. As his from the Confederate lie, family sepasurin. Family misunderstanding. In this If Pray Speed reads with legal precision, add these against Emily's actual medical expenses. My paramedic training recognizes insurance coverage, medical pricing, experimental versus established care. Emily gets PT through County Rehab Center. Insurance covered wheelchair after 6-month appeal. She's never mentioned stem cell therapy and they don't have a pool. Benson pulls public records. Let's see spending patterns during fundraising pushes. The trail turns my stomach. Credit applications, mortgage refinancing, boat purchase, Oregon timeshare, restaurant expenses averaging $400 weekly, all documented through databases mapping financial behavior. And here's what appears happening. Benson turns laptop screen toward us. Parents raise money ostensibly for Emily's care, but less than 45% goes toward legitimate medical expenses. Rest funds lifestyle they couldn't otherwise afford. And Claire examines with methodical fraud prosecution approach. Wire fraud if donations solicited across state lines electronically. GoFundMe creates federal jurisdiction. And Emily's Capitol Hill apartment reflects mom's attention to detail, coordinated artwork, pristine organization looking spontaneous but requiring constant maintenance. When I visit her the next evening, the wheelchair ramp is beautiful sustainable bamboo with matching handrails. Also expensive, probably $15,000 installed. I calculate whether GoFundMe donations paid for it. You look exhausted. Emily settles at her specialized lift chair, noting professional-grade cushioning insurance wouldn't typically cover. Mom said you're picking up shifts for my therapy costs. Perfect opening delivered with innocent concern that's made this conversation impossible for 10 years. But today, armed with police reports and financial records, I can't pretend our family narrative makes sense. I need to ask about your accident. I've been reading the police report. Her hands stop moving on wheelchair controls, micro pause speaking volumes. Police report. Showing you riding with Tyler Chandler, not alone, at Crescent Lake, miles from where I was supposed to walk you. Silence stretches like held breath. Emily's apartment feels sterile, performative, set design supporting specific story rather than authentic life. I've wanted to tell you truth for so long. She begins crying. Not manipulative tears I recognize from parents but genuine grief. Wait. How long have you known I wasn't responsible? I never thought you were. Voice breaks each word. Even sedated in ICU I knew exactly what happened. Tyler and I being stupid teenagers, riding double without helmets, taking trails we shouldn't, nobody's fault except ours. Relief and rage tighten my chest. Then why let me believe? Because Dad said if anyone found out about Tyler it would destroy our family. Words pour like she's held them back for years. Said Tyler's family had money, would try blaming us, lawsuits taking our house, your college fund, everything. Recognizing manipulation pattern, same fear-based control used on me, adapted for 15-year-old recovering from catastrophic injury. He said protecting everyone meant keeping stories simple. You were supposed to watch me. Accident happened because you weren't there, clean, no blame, no legal complications. Crying harder but voice steady. I was 15, scared, learning wheelchair life. When your father says family safety depends on silence, you believe him. Emily, have you seen fundraising campaigns Mom and Dad run? Confusion replacing grief, what campaigns? I show Benson's research, her face scrolling through years of donation requests, emotional updates, financial appeals in her name. GoFundMe showing $127,847 raised. Detailed medical needs not matching actual treatment. Appeal timeline coinciding with parents' major purchases. I never knew any of this. Hollow shock voice of someone discovering commodification. They told me insurance handled everything. Community just sending cards and flowers, not money. Processing silence while she understands manipulation magnitude. Her apartment, specialized equipment, medical care potentially funded through emotional manipulation, painting her more helpless than reality. There's something else. Last month Dad asked me signing papers. Said updating medical power of attorney, but when I tried reading carefully, he said don't worry about legal details, just paperwork. Paramedic training kicks. Patients signing unknown documents often get taken advantage of by family. Remember what papers? Bank accounts, property information. Don't know. He took them after signing. Looking around apartment differently. What if everything I have was paid with money people gave, thinking I was more disabled than I am? Living off others' pity 10 years. You didn't know. You were kid dealing with life-changing injury, trusting adults supposed to protect you. Taking her hands, noting strength from years wheelchair use. We both got manipulated, just different ways. What do we do now? First time in 10 years feeling like I'm talking to actual sister rather than victim character parents created. Now we figure exactly what they've done with all that money, and make sure it stops. The counterattack comes swift and vicious. Family attorney Patricia Lane's certified mail letter arrives 3 days later, legal letterhead designed for intimidation. Recent erratic behavior including inappropriate questioning of family members about private medical matters and contact with unauthorized third parties has raised serious questions about judgment and stability. If I continue interfering with parents' guardianship responsibilities, they'll petition court for formal Emily guardianship citing my disruptive recovery influence. Additionally, hospital administration has been notified of potential medication diversion issues based on family concerns about recent behavior and possible substance abuse. 2 pages of carefully crafted threats wrapped in legal terminology. I read 3 times before implications sink in. They're going nuclear. Seattle General Employee Relations calls while I stare at the letter. Rachel, Janet Martinez from HR. We need you immediately for meeting about concerns raised about work performance and professional conduct. Room tilts slightly. What concerns? Allegations about potential medication irregularities. Probably nothing serious, but we need formal review of narcotic access logs before you return to duty. Medication diversion accusations, career ending for paramedics. Even unfounded allegations create suspicion following between jobs, states, careers entirely. My parents just tried destroying my professional life because I asked uncomfortable questions. Calling Claire immediately, hands shaking. They filed guardianship petition this morning. Patricia Lane called with settlement offer, settlement. Withdraw of both guardianship and workplace allegations if you sign enhanced caregiver agreement, $75,000 upfront plus $2,500 monthly 3 years, total commitment, $165,000. Number lands like physical blow, more than annual paramedic salary, enough complete bankruptcy while funding their lifestyle for years. If I don't both actions proceed. You lose job, Emily loses independence, they get guardianship without paying care themselves. Chess match suddenly clear, legal warfare designed destroying anyone challenging their narrative. Hospital investigation will find no diversion evidence because none exists, but process takes months requiring legal representation I can't afford. Claire, how long compiling Tyler's statement, Benson's investigation, police reports into formal filing. Working through night, comprehensive response filed tomorrow afternoon, but Rachel, this gets ugly. They won't back down gracefully. Thinking about Emily crying in her apartment, Tyler 10 years afraid of truth, GoFundMe donors funding boats while believing they help disabled girls. Let it get ugly, I'm done being afraid of these people. Decision feels like stepping off cliffs, but with strange exhilaration of someone finally stopped trying to fly and started learning to land. The confrontation happens in Covenant Lutheran Fellowship Hall on Wednesday, October evening, fluorescent humming over folding tables sticky from previous night's potluck. 47 people in mismatched chairs arranged rough semicircles, faces reflecting concern and curiosity with unexpectedly dramatic family revelations. My parents stand near kitchenette, marks authoritative confidence from leading church boards and family meetings 25 years. Linda adjusts her blouse with nervous precision of someone never having her events version challenged publicly. They called this family meeting forcing compliance through community pressure. Aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, elders witnessing my caregiver agreement signing, in their minds too embarrassed refusing in front of people knowing me since childhood. They didn't expect backup. Claire enters first, tailored suit and briefcase immediately identifying someone not belonging at family gatherings. Benson follows with laptop bag and focused energy of someone about to expose significant stories. Aunt Susan, mother's sister, arrives with grim expression suggesting she's tired keeping family secrets. Emily wheels herself in looking pale but determined, positioning where everyone sees her clearly. Room energy shifts recognizing this won't be simple family discussion expected. Thank you all for coming. Mark begins with pastoral authority serving him well decades. We're here because our family faces crisis requiring community support and witness. Gesturing toward Emily with practiced emotion, 10 years ago our beautiful daughter was permanently disabled in preventable accident. Since then, we've dedicated lives ensuring best possible care, often at personal sacrifice. Familiar narrative rolling out: Emily's courage, family dedication, specialized care, financial burden, need for everyone supporting Emily's recovery by ensuring Rachel fulfills older sister obligations. Recently, Rachel has been influenced by outside parties not understanding our family needs. Linda's customer service brightness stretched thin. We're hoping seeing community support helps her remember where loyalties should lie. Manila envelope appears again, enhanced caregiver agreement with additional confidentiality and family loyalty clauses. Pastor Williams asked witnessing signature, lending religious authority to financial extortion. But they miscalculated badly. I stand slowly, chair scraping linoleum, drawing every eye. I'd like sharing information before signing anything. Mark's confident smile remains fixed, but I catch micro-expression concern flashing across features. 10 years ago, my family told me Emily's accident happened because I was supposed to walk her to bus stops but chose feeding stray cats instead. They told me Emily was alone crashing borrowed neighbor ATV. They told me accident was preventable if I'd been more responsible. Room attention focuses with intensity, sensing significant witness coming. I carried that guilt decade, structured entire adult life around making up for what I thought was my failure protecting my sister. Nodding to Claire, who opens briefcase with jury evidence presentation precision. This is police report from Emily's accident, holding document for everyone seeing. Shows Emily riding double with boyfriend Tyler Chandler on ATV in Crescent Lake Trail System, 15 miles from any bus stop, violating park regulations using motorized vehicles restricted areas. Murmurs circulating through gathered family. Aunt Susan's expression shifts from concern to sharp interest. Tyler Chandler is here tonight providing testimony about what actually happened. Tyler enters on cue, teacher posture and coaching jacket immediately identifying responsible adult rather than reckless teenager painted. Room recognizes authenticity. Emily was my girlfriend in high school. Voice carrying authority of someone working with teenagers daily. Accident day, we were riding my ATV together, being stupid kids thinking we knew better than safety regulations. Nobody's fault except ours. Parents' decade narrative starts cracking like ice under pressure. After accident, Mr. Chandler threatened prosecution for assault and reckless endangerment if I ever told anyone Emily was with me. I was 17, scared, believed him. Mark's face gone pale, confident smile replaced by expression watching carefully constructed world collapse. But there's more, turning toward Benson, who opens laptop with corruption exposure efficiency. This is GoFundMe page running 10 years in Emily's name. Laptop screen projecting Fellowship Hall white wall via portable projector. Shows $127,847 raised from community donors for Emily's medical expenses. Room silent, reading their names in donor lists, remembering checks and organized meals supporting Emily's recovery. Mr. Walter's investigation shows less than 45% donated money went to legitimate medical expenses. Rest funded boat, Oregon timeshare, credit card debt, lifestyle expenses my parents couldn't otherwise afford. Silence breaks into shocked murmurs. People donated money, held fundraisers, organized benefit dinners, believing they helped disabled girls access medical care. Emily wheels where everyone sees clearly. I never knew about fundraising. My parents told me insurance covered everything. Found out 3 days ago people donating money in my name 10 years, believing I needed help I wasn't receiving. Room energy shifts toward anger, not at Emily or me, but at people manipulating their generosity. Aunt Susan stands from third row chair. Linda, I was ER waiting area Emily's accident night. Heard you and Mark discussing how to handle story about what happened. Heard Mark say, quote, "We tell everyone she was alone, figure out later how to make this Rachel's problem." Words land like Fellowship Hall acoustic tile silence bombs. Mother's face cycles through expressions, surprise, denial, calculation, then desperate anger of someone realizing they're caught. That's not Susan, you're misremembering, we were shocked, weren't thinking clearly. I wrote it down that night because it bothered me so much. Aunt Susan pulls small notebook from purse, 40-year family event tracking kind. I wrote Mark and Linda planning blame Rachel for Emily's accident. Disgusting, E was with boyfriend on ATV, not alone. Community judgment shifts real time. People valuing honesty, family loyalty, genuine service to others just learned they've been manipulated into funding decade-long lies while watching one daughter emotionally abused and another commodified. Pastor Williams, supposed to witness caregiver agreement signing, stands slowly. Mark Linda, this meeting needs ending. Church board will need discussing some things, and clearly legal matters need professional resolution rather than community pressure. Carefully orchestrated evening collapses chaos. People gathering coats, voices raised, concerned conversation, folding chairs scraping linoleum as fellowship hall empties. Parents stand near kitchenette, isolated and exposed. Community support they counted on evaporating as people understand their deception scope. Caregiver agreement sits unsigned on table, legal threats rendered meaningless by simple documented truth application to their decade-long narrative. For first time 10 years, I'm not afraid of my family. The consequences unfold with methodical precision over the following months. Church board meeting happens behind closed doors 3 days after fellowship hall confrontation, but news travels quickly in 300 family communities. Pastor Williams calls directly with results pending full financial audit, all Emily Care fundraising activities suspended. Parents asked stepping down from leadership positions until investigation concludes. Hospital HR meeting lasts exactly 47 minutes. Janet Martinez apologizes for disruption, explaining their investigation found no medication irregularities, narcotic diversion, or professional misconduct evidence. Access badges reactivated. Schedule restored, formal clearing letter into permanent personnel file. Legal consequences unfold with methodical precision of financial fraud handling systems. Benson's investigation prompts Washington State Attorney General formal inquiry about potential wire fraud and tax evasion. GoFundMe freezes parents' account beginning own misrepresentation investigation.
File a civil complaint on Emily's and my behalf, seeking fraudulently obtained funds restitution and donation accounting.
Documentation overwhelming, financial records, witness statements, police reports, 10 years contradictory public statements about Emily's care needs. Parents' response swift and desperate. Patricia Lane representation, but first legal filing reveals position weakness. When defense relies claiming 12-year-old responsible for teenager ATV accident 15 miles away,
while simultaneously explaining why you've collected medical donations for non-existent expenses, legal options become limited.
Boat sales within 2 weeks. Oregon timeshare listed with distressed property realtors. Credit cards maxed out. Mortgage enters pre-foreclosure. Lifestyle funded by Emily's disability narrative crumbles with remarkable speed.
But most significant consequence is social isolation. Covenant Lutheran isn't just Sunday worship community, it's social infrastructure supporting parents' identity 25 years. Church board positions, volunteer leadership, respect from being seen as devoted parents caring for disabled children, all evaporates when congregation understands manipulation. Emily handles aftermath better than anyone expected. First independent decision declining parents' planned guardianship arrangement, instead working with disability rights attorney ensuring legal and financial autonomy. Second decision surprises everyone.
I want paying back donations.
She tells me organizing her move to smaller apartment reflecting actual needs rather than disability performance. Not legally, attorney says donors assumed risk giving money without financial oversight. But morally, people gave money believing they helped me, actually funding mom and dad's boat payments.
Practical challenges significant. $127,000 donation dollars, minus whatever went to legitimate medical expenses, distributed to 412 donors over 10 years. But Emily approaches it with methodical determination, helping her rebuild life after spinal cord injury.
I've been thinking about starting something. Foundation actually helping people with spinal cord injuries, legal guidance, financial planning, advocacy support. Thing I wish existed when I was 15 and scared and letting adults make decisions I didn't understand. Conversation happens in her old apartment surrounded by assistive equipment we're discovering was funded through fraudulent means. Each item tells community generosity manipulated for private benefit stories but also genuine care from people wanting to help. What would you call it? Sunrise Foundation. Because I spent 10 years living in shadows of other people's version of my story and I'm ready stepping into light. 6 months after Fellowship Hall confrontation, Emily and I sit downtown Seattle conference room overlooking Elliott Bay, reviewing Sunrise Foundation Incorporation documents with nonprofit law attorney. Morning sun reflects off water in shifting boat patterns, appropriate metaphor for lives finally changing in directions we choose rather than inherit. Foundation mission statement reads like direct response to everything we survived. Providing legal, financial, and advocacy support to young people with disabilities and their families, with particular emphasis on preventing exploitation and ensuring autonomous decision-making. Emily's recovery from family decade manipulation has been remarkable. Witnessing, without constant pressure being anyone's victim or inspiration, she's discovered herself aspects hidden under years performed helplessness. Strength that got her through spinal cord rehabilitation redirected toward building systems protecting other vulnerable people from similar exploitation. Foundation approach: comprehensive legal consultation, understanding rights and options, financial planning, ensuring independence and security, advocacy training so people can represent own interests, and when necessary, investigation services uncovering financial exploitation. Attorney handling similar cases, families using medical crises manipulating community support, parents exploiting children's disabilities for financial gain, adult children trapped in caregiving arrangements serving family interests rather than disabled person needs. My recovery took different forms. Physician assistant program I'd planned 3 years became possible once not sending $1,500 monthly to parents. First semester grades reflect difference between studying under financial pressure and studying because you chose your path. Paramedic work continues but with new perspective. Every family crisis I respond gets evaluated through lens of someone surviving manipulation disguised as love. I catch patterns others miss: adult children helping elderly parents by controlling medications, teenagers whose accidents happen when family stress high, disabled people whose families speak for them in ways not matching their expressions. Parents' relationship exists now in legal and financial realm rather than emotional. Their attorney and clerk exchange restitution schedules and asset liquidation timeline information. Boat and timeshare sold, proceeds toward fraudulently obtained funds repayment. House likely follows, though their negotiating payment plan might let them keep it, demonstrating legitimate income sources. In need. I don't know what they do with days now that church leadership and community fundraising no longer provide structure and identity. Part wonders if they understand what they did, recognize difference between legitimate family support and systematic exploitation. Larger part no longer needs knowing. Emily and I have dinner twice weekly, sometimes her apartment, sometimes mine, occasionally restaurants where we practice being sisters, choosing each other's company rather than fulfilling obligation or guilt. These conversations feel different from anything shared growing up: work, relationships, foundation plans, books, travel places. Normal sibling conversations between people discovering authentic selves after years playing assigned roles. Tyler joined Foundation Board 6 months ago, bringing perspective from teenager work and surviving adult intimidation tactics. His first initiative focused developing resources for young people pressured staying silent about family problems. Foundation's first-year operating budget comes from Emily's restitution settlement and my decision contributing $45,000 I would have lost to caregiver agreement. Money supposed funding continued exploitation instead provides seed funding preventing similar situations. Irony feels like justice. 2 years after that Fellowship Hall confrontation, Sunrise Foundation's second annual conference brings together 93 people whose lives changed by disability, family manipulation, and working community support systems intersection. Seattle Center conference space buzzes with conversations between teenagers learning, recognizing financial exploitation, parents discovering how supporting disabled children without controlling them, legal advocates understanding family-based financial abuse complexity. Emily speaks from main stage to audience including disability rights lawyers, social workers, church leaders, fundraising platform representatives. Her presentation about recognizing and preventing family-based financial exploitation became professional training programs model across 3 states. 2 years ago I discovered people donating money in my name. 10 years, believing I needed medical care I wasn't receiving while my family used funds for lifestyle expenses I wasn't aware of. Her voice carries authority of someone surviving exploitation and building positive experience from it. Real tragedy wasn't just financial fraud, it was 10 years believing I was more helpless than actually was, while my sister spent 10 years believing she was responsible for my condition. When families create false narratives serving their needs, everyone gets trapped playing roles, preventing authentic relationships and genuine healing. I watch from audience, no longer surprised by competence and strength Emily demonstrates when not managed by people benefiting from her seeming more dependent than actually is. My life has stabilized around choices rather than obligations. Physician assistant program led to Harborview Medical Center emergency department position, where I've developed specialty recognizing family-based medical abuse and financial exploitation signs. Being manipulated experience translated into professional expertise helping others identify when family dynamics crossed into dangerous territory. Emily and my relationship continues evolving as we discover who we are not performing assigned roles. We've learned disagreeing about things not mattering, supporting each other through challenges that do matter, and building traditions reflecting actual preferences rather than family expectations. Foundation grown beyond what either imagined possible. 3 full-time staff, legal partnerships 6 states, educational materials translated 4 languages, and track record preventing financial exploitation 87 cases over 18 months. But most significant success measure might be quieter transformations. People learning trusting own judgment about family relationships, communities now asking better questions before supporting fundraising campaigns. And young people with disabilities understanding difference between accepting help and surrendering autonomy. Our parents' story ended differently than expected. Financial consequences severe but not catastrophic. Restitution payments 5 years, community leadership position loss, social isolation from people feeling manipulated. But personal consequences may have been more significant. Linda left Mark 8 months after Fellowship Hall confrontation, moving to Arizona living with her sister and working retail management. Divorce proceedings revealed full financial problem scope and degree to which marriage had been built around managing other people's perceptions rather than actual partnership. Mark remains in Old House, now renting rooms, making mortgage payments and working at community college as administrative assistant. According to Aunt Susan, maintaining minimal contact, he seems genuinely confused why his family loyalty version wasn't appreciated by daughters. Neither Emily nor I have had direct contact since legal settlement finalized. Not spite or punishment, natural consequence of relationships built on manipulation rather than authentic care. When manipulation stops working, if there's nothing genuine underneath, relationship simply ends. We've both found healthier family connection forms. Emily engaged to David, man she met through disability advocacy work, respecting her intelligence and independence. Their relationship demonstrates what's possible between people choosing each other based on compatibility rather than convenience or control. My romantic life improved dramatically since stopped carrying guilt making me feel unworthy. Genuine partnership. James is nurse practitioner working with domestic violence survivors, understanding difference between supporting someone and managing them. Our relationship built on honesty about histories and mutual respect for each other's autonomy. Standing Seattle Center conference space, watching people whose lives improved by systems Emily built from family dysfunction wreckage. I'm struck by transformation possible when people finally allowed telling truth about experiences. Weight I carried 10 years, crushing certainty Emily's paralysis was my fault, replaced by something lighter but more substantial. Knowledge authentic relationships require honesty, genuine care respects autonomy, and family obligation without choice isn't love. Emily and I will always be connected by shared history, but we're sisters now by choice rather than just biology. We've learned building family relationships based on mutual respect rather than assigned roles, genuine affection rather than guilt-based obligation, and shared values rather than shared trauma. The sunrise giving our foundation its name happens every morning, regardless whether anyone's awake witnessing it, but for people living in shadows of others' making, learning stepping into light feels like daily miracle worth building life around. In the end, the most radical act might simply allowing people telling their own stories, making their own choices, and building relationships based on authenticity rather than control. Everything we've built since grew from that simple premise. Conference ends with participants exchanging contact information and making next year's gathering plans. Emily wheels over where I'm organizing materials, both tired but satisfied with work that matters. Ready to go home? She asks, and for first time in memory, we both know exactly where that is.